apiyanti saha samudra eva bhavati. Dalla tranquilla riva sentiamo la canzone dell'oceano, di balene e delfini, di ondate correnti, di antichi miti, di viaggiatori sognanti, di profondità indaco e santuari turchesi. Quella bella voce risuona dal mare e senza attesa scegliamo di tornare. From the surges of the sea, a song reaches you and me, of whales and dolphins, currents and tides, ancient myths and travelers with awestruck eyes, turquoise sanctuaries and indigo depths, where the ocean's beings hope for the best. The voice resonates from the sea, and we go back to the water, go back to be. Desde la costa con calma escuchamos la canción del mar, de ballenas y delfines, de corrientes y mareas, de mitos antiguos, de viajeros soñadores, de profundidades índigos y santuarios turquesas. La voz del océano resuena dentro de ti y dentro de mí, y volvemos al agua, volvemos así. Samudram eva apiyanti saha samudra eva bhavati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Whenever I hear a beautiful piece of music, I am brought back to the ocean. The ocean has been one of the most profound music teachers in my life, whether in the soft light and fresh air of early morning, or the intense golden rays of late afternoon, or the dark and mysterious night. The sea has taught me some of music's most essential principles. It has taught me that song, like life, consists of contours, ebbs and flows, crests and nadirs, surges and retreats. It has also taught me that amidst these changes, there is an abiding rhythm. There is a pulse, which somehow gives meaning to a world that never seems to stay still, a world which brings us joy and pain in ways that are sometimes hard to make sense of. From the ocean, I learned something that has guided my work as a musical environmentalist. I learned that music does not exist outside of nature. On the contrary, music is best understood and most deeply fulfilled in dialogue with the rhythms and tides which define life on this planet. The coast which has taught me the most is that of my hometown of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Beyond its philosophical and artistic lessons, this coastline reflects the environmental dynamics which currently strain our world. By the sea, we live not only in the presence of wondrous beauty, but also in proximity to those who market that beauty as paradise. We see firsthand how important the beach is to the welfare of other beings, such as sea turtles, and just as frequently we see how easy it is for so many people to care so little. And of course, we also live with the uncertainty of sky and sea itself, the risk of storms, for instance, and the political spectacles which accompany them. History and geopolitics exert their influence, and inevitably, the places we love bear the scars of patriarchy, colonialism, and contemporary neoliberalism. For years, I've turned to the world of multi-faith environmentalism to find the solid ground beneath these shifting sands. I have been inspired by the fact that at the heart of many of the world's spiritual systems, we find poignant calls for stewardship and sustainability. Sacred texts, poetry, and arts from diverse traditions direct us towards a sort of dynamic peace with the environment. They help us to engage with the waves of life in a wise and steady way. They draw their inspiration from nature, and they help us to feel that peace does not come from removing ourselves from the non-human world. Rather, peace involves engaging with nature's diverse manifestations. Peace also involves connecting with our own ability to envision and realize sustainable horizons. Music might help us in this process. So today I would like to share with you a selection of music from two recently released albums, Emerge and Wayfinder. These songs are born out of deep feelings for the world's ecosystems. In this music, I seek to explore sustainability as a cultural, emotional, and philosophical process. With this in mind, I'll present these songs to you in 3 sets, each of which centers on a different aspect of environmental awareness. Kinship with non-human life first, wonder second, and justice third. I'd like to note that multiculturalism and its musical expression, fusion, is an essential element of this music. So in each piece you will hear influences from multiple places and traditions. They are meant to weave together and perhaps take us to a space where borders are not as absolute as we are sometimes led to believe. Let us begin. The first set, Kinship, features songs dedicated to animals, which have been cherished and revered in traditional and indigenous cultures over millennia and in the present day. These animals have their stories and are deeply deserving of our respect. First, we have the alpaca from the South American Andes. In addition to being one of the cutest animals around, the alpaca has for thousands of years held great cultural and spiritual importance for the indigenous peoples living in Peru, Chile, and Bolivia, such as the Quechua and the Aymara. The alpaca appears in Andean mythology, and their wool has long been used to create resplendent fabrics. In my imagination, this song follows the journey of an alpaca on the Capacñan, the majestic Inca road system, which extended for 25,000 miles along the spine of South America. Okay, next there is the elephant from the... Hold on, let me turn the video on. Sorry. Yeah, okay, here we go. Next, there is the elephant from the rainforests of South Asia and the plains and forests of Africa. The following is an interpretation of a Carnatic Kriti for Ganesha. This interpretation is intended to be a call for conservation. As we pay homage to the elephant-headed god, so too can we show our reverence for the elephants themselves. The whale holds a sacred place in the hearts and cosmologies of people in every major world region, from the Pacific to the Arctic to the Mediterranean and beyond. This next song is inspired by the very great differences between humans and whales in how they move and measure time. The whale traverses the ocean at its own majestic pace, at a rhythm so at odds with that of our distracted world, and yet somehow within us, too. Oops. Forgive me. And then there is the sea turtle, born small and brave on the shorelines of the world. Baby sea turtles spend their first minutes crossing the beach on which they were born, braving threats of all sorts as they try to meet the sea. Witnessing the hatching of sea turtles and protecting their passage to the ocean is a community activity in San Juan, as well as in countless other coastal communities around the world. This song, Querida, is an expression of love for them and best wishes for their happiness. The second set, Wonder, is inspired by places that allow us to experience spirit more deeply. These places of wonder are often located near the restrictive, the commercial, and the mundane zones of contemporary life. That makes them all the more precious and transcendent. Port Meadow is a large area of open common land which, according to legend, has not been plowed in over 4,000 years. For the last 900 years or so, Oxford University has been Port Meadow's close neighbor. This quiet and peaceful meadow is located a short walk away from the university's libraries, colleges, and chapels. So close, and yet at the same time, so far beyond.
Stretched out
Medianoche, which in Spanish means midnight, is located by the edge of the sea. Tourists and other beachgoers have packed up for the day, and now what remains is the ocean's mystery. In writing this song, I was inspired by the idea that the shore is, in so many ways, a border between our own experiences and those of others. History has shown us that shores are where some of the world's most vibrant cultural encounters take place. And there are some who believe that the shoreline marks the boundary between the conscious and the unconscious. Supplica is inspired by the following poem by Rumi. Late by myself, in the boat of myself, I try to stay just above the surface, yet I'm already under and living within the ocean. It stopped a little too early, but it was fading out. Our most meaningful encounters with the environment are indeed replete with kinship and wonder. Yet we also live with the threat and the truth of environmental exploitation and degradation. And that brings me to the third set of music, justice. Injustice is difficult to confront and impossible to make peace with. Music, however, can help us to face our feelings, to access our spirit, and to believe that the behemoths responsible for today's environmental crises can indeed be defeated. Esmeraldas is a song about a forest fire and the care which we must take in order to protect these precious groves which are home to so many.
Once there was a forest which shone with emerald leaves, and in this grove a glass house sparkled amidst the trees. Once there was a forest set to smoldering flame, when you struck a tiny match for the glory of the game. The fire drew you more than light, and
The world's forests are home to many human and non-human beings who have witnessed the currents of history. This, I know, is the song of a redwood tree, which has experienced firsthand the impacts of frontier colonialism and knows precisely what needs to be done now. The last song I would like to share with you today, Wayfinder, is inspired by Hokulea, a voyaging canoe which has been traveling the globe for over 40 years. Hokulea has traversed thousands of miles of ocean using Polynesian navigation techniques such as observing birds, ocean swells, wind patterns, and the maps drawn above us in the stars. A few years ago, Hokulea circumnavigated the world, fostering deep awareness of global environmental realities. This song is my way of expressing awe at the wisdom of indigenous knowledge systems and living traditions of sustainability. Hundreds of thousands of activists have made this point, but it bears repeating. The consciousness that must guide the decisions we make as a global society in a time of climate change comes not from fads or slogans or quick fixes. It must instead come from the understanding of humanity's place on Earth, which has been refined over the course of thousands of years.